Welcome to another African violet video. Today I'm going to be making an African violet bubble garden terrarium, and I've got this glass terrarium. I got it from Bunnings. It cost me $12. Not too large, not too big, quite a wide opening, but you can have a smaller opening if you would prefer. So what we need to do a bubble garden terrarium is we need a terrarium. We need a plant that we want to put in. We need some horticultural charcoal. We need some pebbles or some gravel. And you need an African violet plant. And if you want to put any other decorations or anything in there, you can get some little decorations, little fairy garden decorations or whatever. You can make it however you want. The other thing you can use is you can actually use some moss to put on the top, which is just a nice way of finishing off your bubble garden. So to start off with, we need to put a fine layer of gravel down the bottom, and the reason why we do this is because it helps with the drainage. Because there's no drainage holes in a bubble garden, in a glass pot, this just helps with drainage so that the roots of the African violet aren't sitting in the soggy water and rotting. So we just need a little bit of a layer of gravel. You can use any type of pebbles, sort of not too small though. You want it so that the plant actually doesn't get down into that area, so it sits up a bit. So you put a layer of gravel in, then we put a layer of the horticultural charcoal. And the reason why we do this is it assists with drainage very well. Now you can break this up a little bit. I'm not going to because I like it the way it is. I think it looks quite artistic and decorative. And then the next thing we do is we can use our soil. And we put our soil. So we put a layer of soil on top of that. This is really simple, really easy to do. And the best part about making a bubble garden is you get to be a bit artistic and creative. You get to make however you want. You can use different plants. You can use anything. You can have just African violets, or you can have other types of plants. You can use different decorations. So what we need to do now is we just take our plant out of the pot. Now this African violet was wick watered. As you can see, the wick's still there. So we need to remove that. So we can just pull that out. And all it is it's just like a little bit of wool, string. So we can take that out and then break up the roots a little tiny bit, just so it sits in the terrarium a little bit better. And then just sit it in there and pop in some more soil around it. So you can just sort of maneuver the soil around the back using your hands. Being gentle not to break any leaves off, any flowers off. I'll just move you up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. It's sitting in there just nicely. We always want the root of the plant to be sitting up, the crown of the plant, I should say, to be sitting up a little bit out of the soil. Round. Yeah. So you can see it's sitting in there very, very nicely. Now I do have some moss, you can see here, that I am going to pop in there. Now I just got this moss out of my garden, and I'm just going to put a little bit in the layer just away from the crown of the African violet, and it will eventually grow in, but just while that's settling down, I just want it to be a little bit away from it. Pop it in. You don't have to put any moss in. I just like it in a terrarium. I just think it looks nice. It just has quite a nice little, I don't know, it looks a bit like grass, and I just think that looks really pretty. Just put that in around the outside. And press it down a little bit. A little bit in there. Down in there. As it maybe just a tiny bit more over there. Okay. Now the other thing that I did get for my terrarium was this little decoration, and I thought it looked like little African violet flowers, and I just picked this up from my local nursery. It cost $7.95, and it was called an Enchanted Garden mini sofa. So I just thought it was really, really pretty. So I just wanted to sit it like a little chair, a little fairy garden chair. Like a little fairy could be sitting in there enjoying the flowers. Okay. Now the next thing that I like to do always is I use like a little bicycle pump, and I blow off any of the dirt that gets on the leaves. And I find that this is an easy way of removing the dirt, and it doesn't hurt the plant or anything. You'll find that with the African violet flowers over time, they will get a lot of dust and dirt, and you can give them like a little bit of a warm bath if you want to. I know a lot of people will tell you don't wet African violet leaves. That is a myth, people. You can wet them. It will not hurt the plant. The only reason why that myth came about is because when you do wet the leaves, if you leave water on the leaves overnight and temperatures drop, it can leave a mark on the leaves. Or if you leave water on the leaves and your plant is in quite a light area and it does get some sunlight onto it, or some gentle sunlight onto it, it can actually leave a mark on the leaves. And the other thing is, if you have your crown with water in it and you let it get too wet and you water the plant from the top and you get water in the crown, it can cause crown rot. So there are reasons why you just need to wipe the leaves over when you finish, but it's not really necessary. As long as if you're watering in the morning and you're giving the plant time to dry before the cooler nights, it should be fine. And as long as your plants aren't in direct sunlight or really bright sunlight, it should be fine, because you've got to remember, African violets, they grow in the wild, and admittedly only in one small little area, but they do grow in the wild and they get rained on. So the leaves can handle getting wet. So if you want, you can give your African violets a little bit of a warm bath under tap water. As long as, you know, you should have filtered tap water, not just normal chlorinated water. But if you have filtered water or tank water, rainwater, then you can just give them a little bath with that. So I think that's about it. So I think that's gotten a lot of the dirt off the leaves. Now the next thing we need to do is water the plant. Now remember, because it doesn't have drainage, it won't need a huge amount of water. African violets don't need a huge amount of water. So always remember that because it's in a terrarium and it doesn't have that drainage, that it's better not to give it too much water. A little trick you can use is you can use like an old sauce bottle or a bottle that's got a spout like this. And what you can actually do is it just makes it easier to direct where you want the water to go. So just give it a little bit of a water You can lift the leaves up to water it. Around this way. And the good thing is with the terrarium, you can actually see how much water is going in. So that makes it a lot easier to determine whether you've given your plant enough water, if you need to give it a little bit more. So it's just and there we have it. So all finished. So I just think it's beautiful. And I like the layers that you see with the pebbles, the charcoal and the soil and the moss. Just think it looks really, really pretty. So I'll keep showing you this one over time so you can see how it progresses and how it grows. And I hope that you have a go at making one yourself, because it really gives you an opportunity to be really creative and artistic and to make a real display of your plants and to make them look, you know, really, really attractive and pretty. So I hope that you've really enjoyed watching this video. I hope that I've inspired you to go out and make your own terrarium, to have a go, and just really, really enjoy your plants. And I hope that you've really enjoyed watching this video. And I'll, if you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload videos in the future. And until the next time I do another video, happy, amazing African violet gardening. Thank you for watching.